This hunter build has permanent radiant and restoration uptime, constant elemental wells, and most of all, it is packed full of throwing knives and deadly explosives. Now let's get started on the build. We have Blade Barrage as our super because it is a simple fire and forget ability that does great damage with a certain aspect we will show later. Next, for our class ability, we are using Gambler's Dodge to be able to regain our throwing knife simply by dodging near an enemy. Solar Hunters have quite the collection of throwing knives to choose from. I found that the weighted throwing knife is much better overall, but it does have a learning curve. It will recharge your class ability on a precision kill, it can one-shot even on master level red bars, and it can also ignite scorched targets. There are plenty of grenade choices, and by far my favorite is the healing grenade. It grants a very powerful restoration effect that allows you to easily face tank enemies while it is active. With the knock 'em down aspect, we are not only boosting the damage on Blade Barrage by about 50%, but we are also able to chain throwing knives while we are radiant and can easily become radiant with the help of a certain fragment. The other aspect, on your mark, grants you and your allies a handling and reload buff on precision kills, and it also grants max stacks simply by activating our class ability. Ember of Torches applies Radiant, a 25% weapon damage boost on throwing knife hits, and enables the throwing knife chain with knock 'em down on kills. This enables us to have on-demand Radiant for boss damage if we have a throwing knife or a dodge ready. Ember of Singeing increases your dodge recharge rate by 300% for 4 seconds after scorching a target. Ember of Beams increases the aim assist on Blade Barrage to the point of giving it an aimbot. Ember of Empyrean extends the duration of Radiant and Restoration on solar weapon or ability kills by 4 seconds up to a max of 12 seconds. Finally, Ember of Solace increases the base duration of Radiant from 10 seconds to 15 seconds, and Restoration from 4 seconds to 6 seconds, which is useful when we can't kill enemies as quickly in higher level content. Bombardiers is our exotic for this build. It gives us an AoE add clear option that helps with giving up our damaging grenade ability for healing grenades. It also applies Scorch, which then synergizes with the Ember of Singeing, decreasing our dodge's recharge time. A solar weapon is not required, but it is highly recommended. I also highly recommend the perk Incandescent, as it spreads Scorch on a weapon kill, allowing us another way to activate Ember of Singeing. Exotics such as Jotun, Prometheus Lens, and Skyburner's Oath all directly synergize with this build by applying Scorch in some way. But I found that Callous Mini Tool was the single best weapon, as it gets both Incandescent and Grave Robber, and it does not take our exotic slot. There is also Drang that gets both Wellspring and Incandescent to get our dodge and grenade back quicker. However, I am not a sidearm kind of guy. I then pair my mini tool with either Gallowhorn and an auto-loading blinding grenade launcher, or Witherhoard and Cataclysmic. Now for the combat mods, we are leaning fully into elemental wells. To create our solar elemental wells, we have melee wellmaker that activates on a throwing knife kill, and explosive wellmaker which activates on bombardiers, grenade launcher, rocket, and ignition multi-kills. When we pick up those solar elemental wells, we get 10% ability energy to our grenade, melee, and class abilities, but we are also taking advantage of Well of Life, which gives us a less powerful restoration effect for 10 seconds, and Font of Might, which grants 25% more solar weapon damage for 10 seconds. I also then throw on Powerful Friends for a plus 20 mobility boost, but that can be replaced by Bountiful Wells if you do not need mobility for your stats. There are only 3 general armor mods that I use with this build. Hands On activates the mobility boost of Powerful Friends and gets more super energy on throwing knife kills. Impact Induction grants 20% grenade energy from throwing knife hits, as well as Bomber, which gives 14% grenade energy whenever we dodge. Artifact mods in Season of the Haunted include Revitalizing Blast, Solar Fulmination, and of course Classy Restoration. All of these are very powerful, and I recommend using at least one of them if you can, although this build will work without them. Stat priority has changed since the beginning of Season of the Haunted. Before, I would always say to get 100 recovery, but now we want 100 resilience for that juicy 40% damage reduction. Then we want 80 mobility and 80 discipline. The reason I go for 80 mobility is that the Callus mini tool gives a hidden plus 20 mobility as a lightweight weapon frame and effectively grants me 100 mobility whenever I have it out. Then the mini tool also has the origin trait 2 excess, which gives plus 20 to discipline and strength when it gets a kill and you have full super. I would still go for 100 discipline once you're able to. Recovery isn't that important as we have constant restoration and well of life, strength is negated by Gambler's Dodge, and I would recommend running at least 30 intellect. I've been working on somewhat of a checklist of what to be able to do for a build to be viable. Currently, I am looking at easily completing solo legendary campaign missions, dungeons, and master lost sectors. It gives a good range of combat and varying light levels. This build passes all of those checks easily. It is very fun to play and has a ton of chaining potential. Out of all the Solar 3.0 builds I have tried, this is by far my favorite. Going from throwing knife to bomb to another throwing knife to another bomb is some addicting gameplay. It easily keeps Radiant up for you and your team for DPS, usually has Fonts of Might, and just plays sputtery smooth most of the time. However, there are some issues I want to highlight quickly. Ember Singeing only works when you apply Scorch first on an enemy. If they are already scorched by you or someone else, then it does not proc. This is why I like weighted throwing knife, as it will clear Scorch by igniting the target. Ember of Singeing also does not work if the action that would apply Scorch kills a target. I'm not sure if this is a bug, as it worked that way earlier in the season. Sometimes Knock 'em Down will not refund your throwing knife if you killed a scorched target. I've been noticing it more lately, and while it does suck, we are running Gambler's Dodge to help with those shenanigans. Bombardiers are also mainly effective at close range, which in master level content can be a death sentence. Restoration will help out, but that doesn't matter if a champion one-shots you with a stomp. Just be safe and play at range when you need to. The bombs help more with clearing red bars, but when a champ is stunned or caught by surprise, you can get some burst damage in using it aggressively. Thanks for watching this far. I am trying to focus a lot more on quality in my videos, which is a problem when a script is rewritten about 5 times. Once I get the process down on what feels right and what you guys are looking for, I should be able to get videos out quicker, and until next time, stay legendary.